Hi, I'm Ellen Meister, and I'm sitting here in front of my webcam today so that I can read to you a snippet from my latest novel, The Smart One. That's what it looks like. But before I read, I want to tell you two things. First, I want to just tell you a little bit about the genesis of the story and how I came to write The Smart One. It started out with the concept of writing a sister story that explores childhood labels and how they affect us as adults, how they're both a blessing and a curse, and how they affect how we see ourselves and how we approach the world, but also how they affect our adult relationship, in particular with our families. So I really wanted to explore this relationship between these three sisters. That said, that is not a story. That's just, a relationship and some characters I wanted to explore. So I had to think very hard about a story that I could use to be the catalyst to move this relationship forward. And the more I thought about it, the more I realized that this real crime that happened right in my hometown could be the perfect thing to use. Now, in the actual crime, there was somebody moving out of their house who was asked to move an industrial drum that was in the crawl space out back. And they moved it to the curb, and when sanitation department wouldn't take it, they opened up this 55-gallon drum and, to their horror, discovered a body inside, and it was a young pregnant woman who had been murdered some 30 years before. Now, I had absolutely no intention of writing a true crime story, but I thought if I took certain aspects of this crime that captured me so much, it might be just right that I could have the sisters be the ones to discover a body inside an industrial drum, and it would be just the thing to move their relationship forward and the catalyst to the arc of their relationship that I wanted them to have. So that's how the whole thing got started. Now, it sounds like I'm talking about a very, very serious book here because we've got serious relationship issues and certainly a very, very serious crime. However, once I started to write the book, a very humorous voice emerged and a lot of funny characters emerged. So there's a lot of humor in the book, but I hope that there's also a lot of poignancy to the story. Now, before I read to you, I just wanted to tell you to get the kids out of the room because it does get a little bit adult, okay? So bye-bye to kids. I'm going to read to you now, but just one thing before I do. I want to explain to you why I'm reading from the computer screen instead of opening the book, which is that HarperCollins has this browse inside feature on the site which lets you or me just actually open up the book itself and read inside. So if that's something you want to do, go to harpercollins.com and in a little search bar type in The Smart One, and then it'll take you to this browse inside feature. Okay, so that's how you could do it. You could also go to my website, ellenmeister.com. Okay, so here we go. This is from The Smart One. And why do you want to relocate to Nevada, Ms. Bloomrosen? Air conditioning, I wanted to say. But I dabbed the perspiration from my upper lip and bit my tongue. I wasn't sure this principal from an elementary school in Clark County, Las Vegas, who had already endured hours in a stifling classroom at Columbia University so she could interview recent graduates of Teachers College, was interested in New Yorkers of the smart-ass variety. Principal Belita Perez folded her hands, waiting for me to answer. I glanced at the sweating can of Diet Coke on the desk in front of her and wondered how she'd react if I told her the truth. That I wanted to relocate so that I could get as far away from my loving, albeit judgmental Long Island family as I could. That they were smothering me with unrealistic expectations. That once you'd been labeled the smart one as a child, your potential was considered limitless. And the only way you could live up to your early promise was to become a brain surgeon, marry a rocket scientist, and create two perfect children who were bright enough to get their own game show called Are You Smarter Than a Preschooler? And that if you didn't, that if you fell short in any way, you were considered a disappointment, a failure, a loser. Ms. Perez clicked her pen, waiting to transcribe my response. I considered saying, I'm eager to work for a district that's so progressive yet committed to the highest standards of education. But that was the textbook response most of her other interviewees probably gave, and I wondered whether a more mature and creative answer would make her remember me more, perhaps shed some light on the odd anomalies in my resume. I was, after all, almost a decade older than most of her other candidates. No doubt she wondered why I graduated from college with a bachelor's degree in graphic design and spent 10 years flitting from one job to another before going back to school to earn my master's in education. Would it be appropriate to explain about my divorce? Should I tell this woman with the pale pink manicure and cream-colored suit that it took walking in on my husband performing cunnilingus on a pretty young schizophrenic artist named Savannah to rock the fragile foundation I'd spent so many years building? Would she understand that it required a trauma of that magnitude to make me finally see the truth and understand that I had wanted to be a teacher all along, that it was what I was meant to do? And that's it for today, and I hope that interests you in the book. It's called The Smart One, and thanks for clicking, and thanks for watching. Bye.